How's it going, everyone? I'm Taurus, and welcome to the channel. For the new viewers, welcome, and for my returning viewers, thank you for supporting me and enjoying my content as well. Today we're going to be getting into the next entry in my Taurus series, which is the Taurus G3C TORO. So this is the Optics Ready version, so let's get into it. If you're interested in learning more about the channel, you can follow me at Twitch, where I drop my gaming content and stream regularly, Instagram, to find out more about me personally and what I do in my day-to-day life, Twitter, where I'm usually posting links from the Share with Friends option from Classics contests, and Facebook as another outlet to share the content that I'm dropping regularly. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and enable all notifications to see the most current content dropping. We are going to start off, as always, with what's in the box. So, you notice this time the box isn't too torn up. I also picked this one up from Rural King. Like I said, I batch bought several. And I do have the GX4 coming in from Rural King as well. So you get an idea what I did. Alright, so, usual, same box you get in pretty much every single Taurus product. When you open the box, stay open, you get the lock, paperwork. It comes with one, two, third magazine is inside of the G3C TORO. Here you have all of your plates for optics and all the screws and tools that you need. And the TORO itself. Make sure there's nothing else in here. Nothing, oh yeah, and a chamber flag. So let's take a look at the paperwork. Here's the booklet. Not bad, full color photos, diagrams, decent little book. You get your pamphlet to activate your warranty, as well as their save $30 on any Viridian red laser. So the promo code for that is laser30. So anyone out there that's looking for a Viridian red laser of some sort, there you go, save you a few bucks. And of course, they package everything in these little baggies. And that is the G3C TORO itself. So, let me go ahead and put this down. I'm going to clean off as usual, and we'll come back and get into this. Alright, so we have a nice clean setup here. So, first things first, let's take a look at the magazines. These are the 3 magazines that you get with it. Which is nice considering nowadays hardly any manufacturers give you 3 magazines anymore. So I'm loving this. All of them are 12 rounders. So it's nice. They're all metal. They have the sand grooves in the sides. Not bad at all. These feel pretty durable. You have that high-vis follower in there. Haven't had any issues with these yet where the followers get hung up. But again, if that runs into an issue, you can just put a couple drops of oil in there and that should solve that. We've run into that before. Alright, so here are your plates for the optics. Let me do this in a way where I don't throw these all over the ground. I am very guilty of that. Do you guys ever run into the issue where you swear every time you touch something small, like little tiny screws or something, they disappear, they go flying across the room and you barely touch them? Every single time. So I'm going to leave the screws in here. You get the idea. So it comes with 4 mounting plates. All of them are numbered, so you have, let's see, that's 01, 02, 03, and 04. So that's a way to mount all your different optics options. It does come with an Allen wrench, or Allen key, depending on what you want to call it. I'm putting it back in the bag now so I don't lose these. Stuff goes flying around here, I swear. And let's take a look at the G3C TORO itself. So you see we have the 2 Allen key screws on top holding that plate in, covering it. Very nice looking. Alright, let's go over the features. We'll start off here. Frame mounted manual safety. It disengages the slide. It stops it from moving. You have Taurus's usual trigger there, but that actually stops it. I'll admit that trigger actually feels a little bit better than the regular G3C. We'll get back to that. Nice groove here, nice cutout on the bottom of the trigger guard. Fits your hand well. You have this kind of cutout, this little inverted dimple here. Well, dimple I should say, not inverted. You rest your thumb on there very, very nicely. You'll notice another one on the front. Those are on both sides, so your hand fits here. Sorry about my cut. I busted up my knuckles when I was working outside. And right here, another dimple for your trigger finger to rest, so it's nice and comfortable, and it kind of reminds you where you should keep your trigger finger. Very nice. You have their sandpaper panels, one in the front, one in the back, two on the sides with the Taurus logo. These are pretty grippy. If you listen, you can really get a feel for that. So very nice. Magazine release has serrations on it. It is reversible, so you can put it on this side if you wanted to. Very, very nice. Let's go back up top here. So you have the slide catch, slide release, and since people ask me, you can release the slide using that if you wanted to. Alright, so moving forward, here you have the takedown pin, or lever I should say. It is on both sides here, very much like a Glock. Moving forward, here we have a one position Picatinny rail. Always great to have these rails on these smaller ones. Squared trigger guard off in the fronts here. You'll notice these little bevels kind of help out with the comfort. Moving back up, we're going to go to the trigger last. Moving back up, you do have front slide serrations, which as you can see, super easy for press checks. Rear slide serrations, super grippy, easy to get a hold of. You do have a viewport in the top here to see if there is anything inside the chamber, so look in there for brass. And let's see, you do have a front high-vis white dot sight and rear blacked out sight. It is serrated in order to keep the reflection down on it. It's not fully adjustable. It is drift adjustable left and right if you needed to adjust that. Front sight is not adjustable at all. And my test that I always do, the rear sight is metal and the front sight is metal, so that's a good thing. If it wasn't metal, it wouldn't stick. Alright, breaking stuff again. So you'll see here where it's added some extra girth to the frame here and the slide, and I believe that also helps with the Optics Ready. But all of these, the G2C, regular G3C, all have that. Very nice. I love the beveling on the front. This makes holstering and unholstering much easier because of that. It catches on a lot less things. And the front of the sight has been rounded off too. So very nice. I like that. And let's go ahead and test that Allen key just to show it does work. It is the right size, I hope. So if you want to take off that plate, fits right in. You can pop it loose, and those go right in there. So let's go ahead and just pull that plate off just to see what's underneath. One screw. See how it took off running? As I'm telling you, every time, if it wasn't this workbench, that screw would be gone. And that's what it looks like under there. So you can put all your plates on. I'm going to put that back on and try not to lose the screws at the same time. I know this is very entertaining watching me take a plate on and off, isn't it? But you get the idea. I'll finish screwing those in off camera, so I'm not taking up too much of your time. Just mount those back in for now. But that is all the features on here that I think is really nice. I will take a look at this now. For the magazine well, it's very slight on the sides, but you notice how it's kind of beveled in. That's to make it easier if you have to strip it. It is beveled back here, so I like to run magazines across the back, pop them. See how that fits there? So if you get dirt or gunk in there, you can actually grab the magazine and strip it. Now let's look at that magazine release too. That sucker has some power behind it. It launched the magazine straight out. So you're not going to have much in the way of issues there. But very cool. Here's your your back plate. God. But yeah, let me go ahead and finish putting those screws back in, and we'll get on to the next portion of the video. Alright, it's time for everybody's favorite portion of the video where we weigh this thing in real time. So, let me go ahead and move that down, try to get that reflection off there a little bit. Alright, so G3C TORO by itself, safe, unloaded. You're looking at 1 pound, 3.4 ounces. Let's just weigh an empty magazine for giggles. 2.6 ounces, so it gives you an idea. Actually, I wonder if they're the same, if there's any differentiation. Haha, almost got me. 2.6, alright. Here's a fully loaded magazine, 12 rounds. So it gives you an idea of what you're going to be carrying extra on your belt or in your bag, something like that. 7.8 ounces, so that's the extra weight that you're going to be carrying on you if you want some extra magazines. And let me try not to break it. Alright, so let's go ahead and load that up. Full magazine inside of the G3C TORO is 1 pound, 11.2 ounces, so right on there. And we have the +1, so if you put the extra in there, we're looking at 1 pound, 11.7 ounces, fully loaded, so that is with the +1. So you have an idea now exactly what you're looking at if you want to carry this. Alright, so next up we're going to do the trigger test like we always do. And I have my Lyman trigger gauge here. So like usual, I'm going to try to do the... How do I want to angle this? We're going to angle it like this. Yeah. That's the cool thing about this trigger gauge is you can actually move this around to any position. So I think I'm going to do it like this like I usually do. Anyways, getting off topic. We're going to do 3 trigger pulls on that to see the weights and do an average of 3. But first off, I want to do the actual manual. So we are safe, nothing going on there. Now, Taurus's G3C, G2C TORO for the G3C, all of them have a cool feature where you have a second strike capability. So you have single fire or single action and double action triggers. I'll show you how that works. So we just charged it. So you do have this trigger blade safety here where if you do not get your finger on that, nothing happens. See how it moves that little part out of the way? Alright, so. And the trigger does have some nice serrations on it for grippage. Very cool. Alright, anyways, back on top. So you're going to pull all the way back. There's a lot of take up. You hit a wall right here. You can hear it. Once you do that, brakes. Reset is just slightly in front of the wall, I would say. Let me try that again. Yep, it's just slightly in front of the wall for that reset. So very cool. Now, for the second strike double action, you're going to hit a wall all the way out here. So this is basically if you have a light primer strike or something like that, you pull the trigger, nothing happens. Pull the trigger again and get a second primer strike and see if you can ignite it that way. So for the double action, the trigger's up here where it hits a wall, and then it breaks where the single action is. So you get a wall here. It's kind of a soft wall, spongy. So you get here, and then it breaks there. See the reset, you can hear it. There's 2 resets, listen. 1, 2. There's your double action. So right there, wall, spongy, break. So cool. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to test the Lyman trigger gauge for single action and double action. So let's go ahead and charge it. Alright, so let's get this ready. I'm going to try to do this well. This is for the single action. Four pounds, 1.6 ounces. £3, 6.1 ounces. £3, 7.9 ounces, for an average of £3, 12.8 ounces on the single action. So let's try the double action. This will be easier and faster. 5 pounds, 4.1 ounces. 4 pounds, 12.2 ounces. 4 pounds, 6.5 ounces for an average of 4 pounds, 12.9 ounces on that double action trigger, or their second strike capability. So it gives you an idea there. My fingers can't really tell the difference that much on the weights, but now you have a actual technical equipment that'll show you. Alright, so we'll be right back. Alright, so as far as accessories go, there are a ton of these on Taurus's website. You can pick up new magazines. I've heard people have back plates. I haven't checked into those yet, but apparently you can. As well as new sights. And I did get my new sights in, so I want to show them off here. I'm going to install these in a future video. But I've had this before on the channel. The tandem cross sight. This doesn't just fit the TX22, this fits the G3C as well. So there's one option. Here is a G3C front sight. These were like $20, so I figured I'd pick them up and try them out. So also fiber optic. That should fit the Toro as well. And an Ameriglow, see right there, night sight. These were $30 on Taurus's website. I mean, there's no instructions with it, but you get the screw and the sight. You have to, you supply your own Allen key. This one, same thing. You snip off the fiber optic, put it in there. I believe they have on the website for this one how to do that. I know tandem cross is good, and there are instructions on their website to do this. Cool thing is now they're including that red fiber optic if you want to switch it out from the green. Back to the Ameriglow. So this is a night sight. This will fit the G3C as well as the new GX4, so you know what this is going on. But some options for different accessories that you can get. These are the ones I picked up because they're all inexpensive. Like I said, $20, $20, $30. Alright, so that gives you an idea there. Now these ones are still very available. You can get them on Roll King. You can get these for under $400. You can actually get them for right around $3. A little bit above, I believe. But good deal, especially with the optics plate. This kind of makes the regular G3C obsolete. Unless you don't care about that optics plate, then get the G3C and save a few bucks. Because the price, of course, goes G2C is the most inexpensive, G3C, G3C TORO, and now the GX4. So they have a pretty good lineup. Taurus has been coming a pretty long way, I'd say. So, anyways, what I usually get to here is the takedown. So, you're going to grip this like you want to fire it. Rotate this part of your hand up here, reach over the top. Keep your thumb here. Your thumb's going to push this way. Top of your hand's going to pull that way. See how that worked? While you're doing that, this pin here, or this lever, it's on both sides, so I just grab it in a pinch, pull, push, pinch, and pull it down. Pull that down, release. I know it's not going anywhere because you have to pull the trigger. Once you do that, you can get that off of there. Oh yeah, it would help if I kept that down, wouldn't it? Come on, you. This is why I do this live on the camera, so you can actually see any issues you might run into, like I am right now. There we go. I don't know what it was hanging up on. Being a little stubborn there, huh? It is brand new, and I haven't fired it. So you see, just like the rest of the series, you have 4 spots for your rails. Look at the guts. And you have a dual recoil spring and guide rod. Sorry about the focusing there. Let's take a look at that barrel. Good looking barrel. As usual, everything from Taurus is dirty, dirty, dirty when you get it. Let me wipe that off. That's a little bit better. I didn't wipe it off very well. But you can look at that rifling. Very nice. And then the upper slide. So you'll see how everything fits. That's your firing pin striker assembly in there. Very nice. In order to get to that front sight to unscrew it, there's actually a screw right in there you can get to if you wanted to replace that. It's actually pretty easy, surprisingly. You don't need too many particular tools. Alright, so put it back together once you're done cleaning it, field stripping it. Just reverse the process as always. for the fat part of the dual recoil spring guide rod goes on the front, and the skinny portion here is going to fit right in a little groove on here. After that, you're going to line up these slots, which are the guide rail location, or the guide rail slots. Line your guide rails up in there, they go right in. I like to just keep wiggling these and pulling them back. Then once you get it back to there, just manhandle it. Give it a good force. If you try to baby that when you're going backwards, it gets hung up. That's why you saw me just kind of push it. And that's what you have to make that noise when you do it. So when you put it back together, you have to make that noise. It's how it goes. Otherwise, it doesn't go back together. But that's it for the field strip, how to get inside, clean it, things like that. Not bad at all. If you know how Glocks work, it's going to work the same. All right, and there you have it. That is pretty much everything I could think of to go on for the G3C TORO right now. I love that Taurus came out with this. They needed to have their optics ready on all of them. They have. The G3C TORO is available as well, the full size. So they have the full lineup now with the optics cut. Taurus is really coming a long way to make sure that they are competitive and staying with the times. Granted, I know people are going to say in the comment section, they're a little behind, but at least they're trying to compete. So they're actually doing innovations, they're trying to stay with the market, unlike other companies that I won't name. You probably already know what I'm talking about. But not bad at all. But that's everything I can think of to go over. I think this is a great option for concealed carry, and if you want that optic on there. A lot of people don't think so, but the optics do help when you kind of get a little bit older. Eyes, target acquisition, it helps a lot. Now myself, I prefer conceal. I don't put an optic on it. I also am one of those people that's very stubborn and doesn't like to try new things, so that very well could be it, in full disclosure. I just like what I like, and I don't like to change. I'm very stubborn. But yeah, not bad at all. I like it. I think this is a great option for people, and I think people should check it out. Very, very cool. But that is all I have to go over. I can't think of anything else at the moment. It's kind of, I don't know. I think it's very good. If you saw my G3C video, you'll see that it's basically a G3C. The trigger feels a little bit better, and you get the optics cut. So in my opinion, this makes the G3C irrelevant. This one is the same thing with more options. But again, if you do want to save a little money and you don't care about the optics, go with the G3C without the TORO. All right, so I want to thank everyone who stopped by to watch the video. I hope you did like it. Now, of course, toss the comments and thoughts down in the comment section. Do you like these? Do you hate them? Are you buying one of these soon, or did you just pick it up? If you did, let me know how you like it. Do you have any problems with it? Things like that. I like hearing about you guys' experiences and talking to you in the comment section. I think this thing's pretty cool, and we'll see if other people do too. I think it's very much worth it. But as for usual, my inspirational quote, I would just say, keep at your goals. Recently, I'm noting that there's some opportunities opening up in a part of my life where I didn't think that there were going to be any, and I was thinking I was going to have to move on. That is not the case. I'm seeing opportunities go. So what I would say is, especially in right now's climate, if you see something and you're worried that it's not going to go and you're putting a lot of work with it, stay with it a little bit longer past where you think you need to drop it. Of course, there are situations where this does not apply, and this is probably bad advice in those situations. Like if it's, let's say you have a bad relationship, you think you need to drop it, and maybe this advice would not be good for that, because you should absolutely not stick with that. That's just going to bring you down. But let's say you're at a job, you feel like things are getting a little bit stagnant or something like that, but you're starting to see some opportunities that might arise. Put in the hard work, and something should come of it. Now, of course, down the road a little bit, of course, if nothing comes of it, then move on. But at least you can say you tried, right? So always push forward and always try your best and keep going at it. Don't give up on things so easily nowadays, because it is very, very easy, especially these days, for people to give up. Just don't. Keep at it. If you think you're doing that bad, there are people doing worse. Just think about it that way, and you will feel a lot better. Trust me. And I know everyone uses that excuse. They've been using it since I was a child, but it does help, to be honest. Just keep driving. And look at someone that you think is not as well off, and use them and say, okay, so I'm not doing that bad, and I could be doing better. Look at someone who is more well off, like, oh, they're doing really well. I want to strive to be there. Use that as kind of a way to push yourself. That's, it kind of helps. I think, at least anyways. But of course, don't be rude to anyone about that. That's just a way to motivate yourself. If you're more well off than someone else, you do not rub it in their face, because then that makes you a worse person. Okay, off of my soapbox, because I always ramble at the ends here. But that's it for today. Remember to keep active, stay strong, and as always, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Hope you liked it. Take it easy, guys.